AI is changing everything, from how businesses make decisions to how machines understand language and images. But here's the truth nobody talks about. AI can't work without data mining. It's the process of digging through raw data to find the patterns that make AI smart. This video course is Introductory Data Mining. The book the material comes from is Data Rookies, Data Mining Basics, available from Data Analytics Curriculum LLC and can be direct downloaded from the website. In addition, there are supplements and lab exercises for download. Chapter 4: Cluster Analysis. Cluster analysis is an unstructured learning data technique that groups a set of objects so that objects in the same group, or cluster, are more similar to each other than to those in other groups. Welcome to Section 4-1, Unsupervised Learning. In this lesson, we'll explore how machines can find structure in data even when no labels are provided. By the end of this section, you should be able to tell the difference between labeled and unlabeled data, explain what unsupervised learning is, and how it differs from supervised learning, understand what clustering is and why it's useful, know when and why to use clustering with data that has no labels. Recognize that clustering helps us find patterns in new or unknown data. Labeled versus unlabeled data. Labeled data includes a known output or category, for example, yes or no. This is common in classification tasks, like predicting the type of fruit. The labels act as targets or tags that guide supervised learning. Grocery example: labeled data. Imagine a grocery dataset where each item is labeled as vegetable, fruit, or herb. Because we have known categories, we can train a model to learn the difference between them. Grocery labels example. Here we see how these grocery labels help guide a model to classify future items correctly, based on the labeled training examples. Unlabeled data. In contrast, unlabeled data has no target or category information. It may only include measurements or features, for example, color, size, or weight. Without labels, we cannot directly use classification or prediction models. Unlabeled binary data. Here's an example of binary data without any category labels. The model must figure out for itself whether natural groupings exist. What is unsupervised learning? Unsupervised learning means finding patterns from unlabeled data. The algorithm must discover structure on its own. There are no predefined categories to guide it. This approach helps reveal hidden relationships within the data. Purpose of clustering. Clustering helps us identify patterns or groups within new or unlabeled data. It's especially useful for exploratory data analysis, where we don't yet know what categories might exist. Clustering can reveal natural groupings before applying more formal models later. When to use clustering. Use clustering when you have no labels, you're exploring new data, or you want to organize, segment, or visualize patterns in a dataset. Unsupervised techniques in data mining. In data mining, unsupervised learning includes two main techniques: clustering, which we'll explore in this chapter, and association analysis, which we'll cover later. Remember, the book and supplemental resources are available online at Data Analytics Curriculum's website.